Yo, what's up YouTube, man? It's your boy Action Jackson, man. And in today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys my game preview. They're back again. I'm going to try and do them every Saturday moving forward before game days. So that's why, you guys have something to look for before the games, and give you guys my thoughts and opinions on who would win, and also how should the Cowboys attack if they want to win the game on Sunday night against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So before we hop into the video, I would appreciate if you guys would like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment, and share the video with anyone who you think might enjoy my content. I'm hopping into it, man. Going over, man, just a bit of a backstory. Last year, week 1, the Dallas Cowboys were playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Same one, same opponent as we played last week, but there's a tale of two halves. Both teams are both particularly in two spots where they both have key number one receivers, and the rest of their wide receiver core looks a bit shaky. Other than Tampa, they have a solid number 2 in my opinion with Julio Jones, but the Cowboys are still figuring out their number 2 as of right now until we get Michael Gallup back. They both have that in common. They both have big 50-50 play receivers, and Godwin. They don't have Godwin. We don't have Michael Gallup. They're both out, and both of our offensive lines are questionable. Our running backs, they're stable. Tight ends, same thing. I believe we have the edge on the tight end room, but basically this week 1 matchup is night and day difference between last year's. Last year's they were full strength on offense, and so were we. We had Blake Jarwin, Dalton Schultz, both tight end 1 and 2. They had Gronk and Cameron Brady healthy for the most part. They had Donovan Smith, Ryan Jensen, Tristan Roars. We had Tyron Smith, Tyler Biotish, Lel Collins. Our offensive line was solid. Their wide receiver core was stacked. Our wide receiver core was stacked. They had Antonio Brown, Godwin, Scotty Miller, Mike Evans. We had CeeDee Lamb, Gallup, Coop, Cedric Wilson, everything like that. So basically, both teams are they both look entirely different. Both of us are leaning on our defense to keep us in this game, or potentially run away with the game with a turnover here or two. So yeah, that's a bit of my thoughts right there, just real quick, about the backstory, how this week 1 is matchup in 2022 is way different than what it was in 2021 last year. So look for that to just be completely different. Don't look for this game to be high scoring like how it was last year, how it came down to a last second field goal. I think it might come to that this year again, but the score just won't be the same. Last year I think the score was 31-29 that Tampa won, but I think this game will be more of like a 20-17, 17-14. I don't see both offenses popping off, particularly in this game. Both offensive lines, like I said, are questionable. They lost Ryan Jensen for at least the first couple of months of football. We lost Tyron Smith for most of the year. So it's gonna be really intriguing to see the Cowboys attack this game. But some ways that I do have the Dallas Cowboys beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Before I hop into that, who I have winning this game off rip, I think it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can win this game. But will I be shocked to Dallas Cowboys win it? No, I will not. But I just feel like, that Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they have a little bit more of an edge. Offensively, with Tom Brady, he's seen every defense and everything like that. That's nothing new. Their defense, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, is still pretty good, but they've lost some key people like Ndamukong Suh. They still have Vita Vea, who's still a monster. They still have Shaq Barrett, but they did lose Jason Pierre-Paul. Still have Devin White, Levante David, Antoine Winfield. So they still have some studs as well as we do on defense. But I just think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will edge us out in this game. But step one, I feel like for the Dallas Cowboys to go out and win this game is to win in the trenches, both offensively and defensively. I'm going to go into defensively first. I feel like the inside of that Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense is weak. You lost Ryan Jensen, so you're going to have a unknown playing for center. You got a second round left guard, Luke Godicki, out of Washington, I believe. He's starting at left guard. Then right guard, you got Shaq Mason, who the Patriots gifted the Bucks for like a 4th or 5th round pick. And then the Bucks, they still have their stable left, their tackles. They still have great. They have a nice, solid left tackle in Donovan Smith, and they have a really nice right tackle in Tristan Wirfs. So I think for the Cowboys to win this game, they definitely have to dominate in the run game. You got to stop Tampa's run like how you did last year. You can't let the run game become a factor in this game, because one thing with Tom Brady, as we all know, if Tom Brady is able to beat you in both ways and just can, beat you like that, saying with death by 1,000 paper cuts. If they're able to run the ball successfully, that's going to create great play action off of Tom Brady to get the crossing routes, to get the out routes, to get a rhythm for that team. Because once Tom Brady, with a Tom Brady led team, rhythm is key. So if you're able to knock off, if you're able to shut down the run game and force Tom Brady to pass the ball 30, 40 times, I think we should be able to win the game. Because if we're asking Tom Brady to throw on this defense, I think it's going to be a lot tougher, especially since he does not have the same weapons as he had last year. Pressure up the middle is going to do really great. I think you're going to need Neville Gallimore, Oso Odighizuwa, Tristan Hill, Quentin Bohanna. You're going to need those guys to be really solid for you and stout in the run game, and you're going to need Neville Gallimore and Oso Odighizuwa / Tristan Hill to be really, really great for you in the pass game when they have to pin their ears back and go after Tom Brady. I think this offensive line for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can fold, especially in the middle. So that's step one. I feel like, the trenches, specifically the defensive line, needs to step up in this game. Offensively, like I said, still in line with the trenches. Offensive line, I still feel like for the Cowboys, they need to go out and do their thing. The Cowboys have 2 big worries that I'm worried about on the defensive line, and that's Vita Vea and Shaq Barrett. Tyler Smith will most likely have the assignment of a Shaq Barrett, which is going to be Tyler Smith's very first welcome to the NFL moment, because he's going to be going up against a savvy veteran like a Shaq Barrett. He's been really great with Tampa. Also, he was solid out there in Denver. And he was a sack leader 2 years ago in 2020, the year they won the Super Bowl. So, he's always consistent. He's always a consistent 10 sack plus guy, and he was a bit of a factor last year. So, I'm gonna need this offensive line to play well, like above and beyond, because I need Zach Martin's going to be out there, Terrence Steele, Tyler Biadasz, they all seen NFL reps. You're going to have Connor McGovern. Those 4 have seen NFL reps, live games. The person who hasn't is Tyler Smith. Tyler Smith, they're going to run a lot of stunts his way. He already has hands full with Shaq Barrett. But what scares me the most is what the Bucs are able to do with Vita Vea. And I know Todd Bowles is such a great defensive coordinator. He's going to move Vita Vea along that defensive line, and we've seen him do that last year, week 1. We've seen Vita Vea come in from 3 technique and blow past and destroy Connor Williams and Tyler Biadasz. They last year they held their own against him as well, but it's going to be a little bit different. But this year, last year we were playing with Connor Williams, Biadasz, and Martin. Now, since you're going to have Martin, Biadasz, and McGovern, I think that's going to be a better front 3 to help alongside with a, blocking Vita Vea. So Vita Vea, because, Vita Vea, he can line up on the edge. Who knows? He might line up with a Tyler Smith, but I feel kind of confident with the Tyler Smith and the Vita Vea. I feel like Vita Vea, the only way how he's going to beat a Tyler Smith is if Vita Vea pulls something out of the bag where he has this savvy, cold, he can somehow bend and get low on Tyler Smith or something crazy of that nature. But I don't see Vita Vea straight outright bullying Tyler Smith, because we've seen him in preseason when a lot of people try to rush at him and bull rush him. He's able to stunt their speed, and they can get in a little of a grudge match, and they'll still be fighting, but you won't see any falling backwards with Tyler Smith, and I don't think he'll be able to fall backwards with Vita Vea. I know that's kind of big talk, especially since Vita Vea makes all offensive linemen look like little kids, but yeah, and then I just need the Cowboys to do well, and we already know that with the front seven of a Cowboys defense, it's really solid. We know that's going to be really hard to run up against Vita Vea. Their other defensive tackles, Shaq Barrett, Joe Tryon, then Devin White, and Levante David as your backers. It's going to be really tough running up against them, but our offensive line needs to play really well, especially in the run game, because I feel like with the Cowboys, I understand we still have CeeDee Lamb, Dalton Schultz, and then we have the emergence, we have the emergence of, Jake Ferguson and Peyton Hendershot. Those are nice tight ends, but I see the Cowboys in a lot of, 21 personnel, two tight ends, a receiver, two tight ends, two receivers in the back, or I can see them go with three tight ends in a back. So I see the Cowboys running a lot in this game. And I feel like the offensive line is really key for that, of course, because if the offensive line is able to make it harder on the Bucs, if we're able to run the ball really stoutly against the Bucs, I feel like this will just be a wide open of a game, and we'll be able to do what we want against the Bucs, because I feel like, of course, if you can get one thing going really great in this Bucs game, like the run game, it's going to be really tough for the Bucs to stop us. So, I just think that the Cowboys, the offensive line, trenches, offensive and defensive line needs to step it up. And that's the key step for the Cowboys for winning, in my opinion. And another factor, I feel like the Cowboys, if they want to win, they need to limit on the mistakes / penalties. I feel like, if you get Tom Brady on a third and long and you get him on a stop, and then after the play's over, we see a yellow flag with a false start or pass interference or a roughing the passer, any little small mistake like that can give Tom Brady an edge, to where instead of you forcing them to no points, that might be a drive where they can get great field position where our offense is backed up. If we're lucky to even get another three and out, or that drive might end up being a touchdown or 3 points. So I think the Cowboys need to really limit on their mistakes / turnovers, both defensively and offensively. Don't want to see any blown coverages. You should have got him, nothing like that. No, on offense, no silly turnovers, no, dropping the snap going over Dak Prescott's head, fumbles from the running backs, drop passes from the receivers. I just think we need to play a really tight, mistake-free football game. I know it's going to be really tough. Cowboys, it's really hard for them to play mistake-free football, but they have to, especially if they want to win this game, because we saw it last year. There was a bunch of penalties. There were, false starts, holdings, and, missed kicks from your kicker, which is something I'm about to touch on in a little bit. But like I said, I think the Cowboys need to basically play perfect football for them to even have a chance in this game, especially with, the lesser talent than what we have. So, briefly going over, the Cowboys have to be solid offensively and defensively in the trenches. Great offensive defensive line play is going to be key. 2, we have to get the run game going. I think if we get the run game going, we'll be fine in this game. That will open up the pass. CeeDee Lamb can easily cook this secondary of the Bucs. I feel like their weakness in the team is still their defensive back room, but we just don't have the arsenal this year with an offensive line that's going to be able to give Dak enough time for routes to develop to beat their cover 2. Or sometimes they play man, zero blitz, everything like that. So, it's going to be hard for that. We don't really have the weaponry for that to happen this year. So I just felt like we just need to go ground and pound. And, once in a while, if we're able to get the deep pass, let's get it. But, it's going to be really hard for the Cowboys to sit and throw the ball 30 or 40 times. So that's why I'm saying with what I'm going to my third point is that the Cowboys need to be mistake-free football. Keep the game close. You don't want to go down 2 or 3 scores, because this is not the offense right now that can compete in shootouts for right now. Not right now. Until once we get Michael Gallup back and Jason Peters acclimated into the offense, maybe we can get to that. Maybe. But, that's far-fetched for me looking at it right now for the Cowboys. And the last thing I'm going to go into is that I think special teams. I'm not going to go up here and say, oh, Camonte Turpin needs to have at least a touchdown or 2, because that's really hard for him to do. He did it twice against the Chargers, so, a lot of people say I'm talking outside of my neck. But great. That was the Chargers. That was in preseason. But doing that against the Bucks and on their special teams unit, I'm not saying it's all that great. I'm saying, let's be smart on our punts, making sure that, we're pinning them back and things like that. No muffed punts. No, when Camonte Turpin's back there, I don't need him dropping the punt. I don't need him, getting nervous or anything like that. Don't want that to happen. But most importantly, other than coverage and, catching the balls and everything like that, I just need consistency from my kicker. Brett Maher is going to be our kicker, of course, but when he's forced to kick a 40, 50-yarder, I need him to make a majority of those, because like I said, this is going to be a game, with inches and everything like that. So if you miss a field goal by either team, is going to cost the team, I believe, especially with this game both being led by their defenses. I just believe that any crucial mistake, any missed points in this game will cost you in this game, and exactly like how it was last year. This Greg Zuerlein costed you almost 10 points worth of points last year. So I just need Brett Maher to be more consistent. I need Brett Maher for sure to make all his extra points. Anytime the Cowboys are scoring a touchdown, I need him to make his extra points. And number 2, if he's kicking anywhere between the 40 to the 50, I need him to make those as well. I want him to be at least above 500. So if he's kicking at least 2 times, or he's kicking 3 times within anywhere between the 40 and the 50, I need him to go. If he's kicking them 3 times, I need him to go for 2 for 3, anything like that. 4 times if he's kicking it between the 40 and the 50, I need him to make it at least 3 out of the 4. Brett Maher to make his kicks, and that goes along with special teams. They're all as a unit. Same thing. Punter, I think they need no shank. We can't have no shank punts. Can't give Tom Brady short fields, because then, short fields, that'll give our defense to be on the field a lot longer. That's going to tire them out, and we can't have a tired defense against Tom Brady. Turpin, anybody who's returning kids, whether that's Tony Pollard, Turpin, Jalen Tolbert, I just need no mistakes. If it's a crowded room, if it's getting crowded or whatever, fair catch it, focus on the catch. If the kicks, if it's a good kick by either of the special team units from the Bucks and it's way too far for either punt or kickoff, let it go over your head, catch it, or take a knee, things like that. We can't have any mistakes in this game. You have to play mistake-free football against Tom Brady. You have to gain pressure on Tom Brady. No quarterback locks pressure, so get immense pressure on Tom Brady, especially up through the middle. We know he's a deer in headlights back there when he has to move. And, when he has to move around, escape pressure, it's really hard for him to do that. So, yeah, man. And my very, very last point is we need our stars to play. We need our stars to be stars. We need Dak Prescott to come out and have an amazing game, which I believe he will. Micah Parsons needs to do his thing. Trayvon Diggs also needs to do his thing as well. And CeeDee Lamb. I feel like CeeDee Lamb is going to have a big game in this game. I feel like it's going to be off of the backs of the offensive line, if they do really well in the run blocking game, I felt like, if we're able to run the ball well, so that also includes Zeke and Tony Pollard as well, as long as the other stars I just named. As long as those guys are able to be more efficient and we're able to run the ball effectively with the Ezekiel Elliott and the Tony Pollard, and if we're able to give Tony Pollard meaningful snaps and put him in meaningful positions to where he's actually that, which lands on Kellen Moore, that where we utilize Tony Pollard's strengths in this game to beat the Bucs. Get him on mixed mismatches on linebackers. Stars just need to be stars. Our playmakers need to make plays in this game for us to win. Of course, we're depending a lot on Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard, Zeke Elliott, Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, DeMarcus Lawrence. We're depending on those guys to make plays and make plays in key moments for us to win this game, man. And that's about it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoy your Sunday of football. And hope you guys have a nice, blessed day. See you later. Bye.